If you really want to learn something, it's not enough to just read a book. You also need to practice whatever you read about. So, for example, if you read a book on weightlifting, it's not like you get to the very final page and suddenly you're incredibly strong. You have to spend hours at the gym practicing what you read about to actually get any kind of results. The same is true of learning just about anything else, including DevOps. That's why the book Fundamentals of DevOps and Software Delivery includes dozens and dozens of examples for you to try. This is how you're going to get the practice you need to get real results. One way you can try out these examples is to just read the book and create all of the examples locally on your own computer and run them that way. A second option is all of the example code is also available in this GitHub repo, and it's broken down by chapter. And a third option is if you're reading the book in the O'Reilly platform, you can try out the examples using sandboxes. And these make it really easy to try the examples, really easy to get the practice you need. So let me show you what those look like. If you go to any chapter in the book, so let's try chapter 3, we'll go to the container orchestration section. You'll have the text over here, as you might expect. And then there's this button over here that says Try Sandbox. If you click on that, that'll start loading the sandbox, which will take about a minute. And when it's done, what you're going to have is on the left side, you'll have the text for the book. And on the right side, you'll have a fully working development environment where you can run all of the examples without having to install anything. That's because this environment already has an interactive terminal that you'll be able to use. It has an IDE that you can use to view and edit the code. It will have all the tools installed that you need. So OpenTofu, Ansible, Packer, Docker, all of that stuff's installed. There's even a local Kubernetes cluster ready to go. It even gives you access to an AWS account, as a lot of the examples in the book deploy into AWS. So if you scroll to the top, you'll see the AWS credentials here. You can use those to log into the console, and they're also already configured for you in the terminal itself, so you can deploy things right into AWS. So this makes it really easy to get started and to try the examples out. So the terminal's ready to go. I can start running commands in it. So if I run ls, you can see all the example code from that GitHub repo is already checked out and broken down by chapter. Since I opened up chapter 3 here, I can pop into that folder. And since we're looking at a Docker example, I can go into the Docker folder. In here, I can run the command the book tells me to run to build a Docker image. And that'll kick that process off. If I want to see what's going on under the hood or make changes to the code, I can open up this IDE. And here's all the code. This IDE, by the way, is VS Code, so it's actually pretty nice. It's running right in the browser. I can go to chapter 3, to the Docker folder, and over here, I can see I have my Node.js app, which is just a really simple app that responds with hello world and listens on port 8080. And then over here, I have a Docker file, which you can use to build a Docker image for the app. If I go back to the terminal, you can see the image has finished building. So now I can run it using this command here. And now the app is listening on port 8080. And I can make sure that that's actually working by opening up a new terminal. Now I can run curl localhost 8080, and I get my hello world. So as you can see, in about a minute or so, I'm able to try out these examples without having to install anything. And of course, I can keep going. So for example, if you keep going through this chapter, it shows you how to deploy that same app in the local Kubernetes cluster. So we can give that a shot. If we go back to the IDE for a second and we go to the Kubernetes folder, you can see over here there's 2 YAML files. One of them configures that same Docker image to run in a Kubernetes cluster as a deployment with 3 replicas, 3 pods. And the other YAML file configures a load balancer in front of those pods to distribute traffic across them. So we can give that a shot by heading into the Kubernetes folder. We can use the apply command on each of those YAML files. There we go. If we do get pods, we can check that the app deployed, which it did. So there's my 3 pods, the 3 replicas. And if we get the services command, now we can see the load balancer has deployed. There's its IP. And if I curl that, now I have my app running in a local Kubernetes cluster. You can see that took, another minute. If you keep reading this chapter, it'll show you how to deploy a Kubernetes cluster in AWS, and then you can deploy the same app in that Kubernetes cluster. Again, without having to do anything locally, without having to set up accounts. So these sandboxes are a fantastic way to get the practice that you need so you can really learn this material. So check out the book. It's Fundamentals of DevOps and Software Delivery. Read it and then practice what you read, and then you'll see really good results.